Hi, Lee. I'm providing your feedback of your debate speech. So, first few things, even before I get started with this one, I would like you to talk to you. I know that you were able to do you were able to, for your last informative speech, you were able to shoot it with your online gallery audience. But remember, there were certain things that I did talk about, and make sure that that doesn't happen. So I'm again going to tell you this because you'll be listening to this, listening to my comments. So remember, this is not a Zoom call speech. You need to be away from the camera. Look at Emily and Jonathan's informative speech. Look at the distance. I mean, I'm not, but without giving you, I'm not talking about how well they did or how, not talking about their performance at all, but just the distance of the camera. I think that was perfect distance from the camera. Look again, look at Emily and Jonathan's speech, informative speech, and look at the distance from the camera. You need to be that far away from the camera when you're shooting. It needs to be a straight angle shot, not a shot like last time where it was like over, you were looking down at the camera and there was a big light that was coming onto the camera. That really compromised on a lot of things. I really need you to go back to your first speech, how well that was done. Now, think about that presence that you created in your first speech. It has to be, even though it's done with an online audience, that doesn't matter. It is not a Zoom call speech. It is a speech. The only difference between the first speech, the storytelling speech, and this speech is that you don't have a live audience there in your debate speech. So that's the only difference. But you have to do everything else just like you did in your first speech. You have to just imagine that you have a live audience in front of you. So remember, the one of the best ways to do it is be away from the camera. And again, look at Emily and Jonathan's informative speech. Look at the distance from the camera, a head-to-toe view, straight angle view, also giving you a landscape view because it also gave you space to move around if you wanted to. That's something that you may want to think about. Now, coming to your speech here, I don't see that there you need to make any changes with the map. The map looks good, as you can see. I would probably work a little bit on your introduction, kind of giving us some news bites about what people feel about people's opinion about gene editing technology. Okay, so something from or maybe an expert opinion, or somebody who's a regular person. What does that person have to say about gene editing? That's going to be a really catchy, and put that in your introduction. All right, going to the main points of your speech, I think a little bit of more I would probably say more data into why some places think gene editing is why some countries are think, or some places in US, or maybe if it's you're talking about US, maybe if you want to do an international reference, why some countries consider gene editing as morally unethical, and then which countries have legalized gene editing, and that has actually kind of been also shown that they were able to kind of avoid um, gene complications, or birth defects arising from gene complications or errors. All right, so a little bit of that. Other than that, I don't think anything else you need to do. So I think you did very well in the speech, in the written speech. Just go for it, and do your best. That's about it. Thank you.